In this lesson, we are going to learn how to parent layers. Parenting is a great feature when you want one object to follow actions of the other object. As here in this composition, we have two boxes and I have made a small animation with the blue box by animating its position parameter. And now I want this orange box to follow the animation of the blue one. So we have two ways to do it. We can just copy these keyframes and can paste it on the orange box. But instead of this, we have an easy way. We can just parent it with the blue box. And to do it, go to first keyframe and open this parent drop-down menu. Here it will list all layers which you have made in the current composition. Now choose the layer with which we want to parent it. So I'm going to set it to blue box. Now let's check the animation. Great. Orange box is now following the animation of the blue box. So here is the question. Why had we parent orange box by going to first keyframe? Why didn't we use the parent option while remaining on the last keyframe? Let me clear this concept. So go to first keyframe and choose none to unparent it. Now let's see what will happen if we parent it on the last keyframe. Nothing will get changed. Now go to first keyframe. Orange box is not disappear. Let's see what will happen if we play it. Now this position of the orange box is the last position, and on the first keyframe it's going outside of the screen. Actually, when we parent one object to the other, the child object will only follow the actions of the parent object. It means if parent object is moving from one point to another, the child object will also move from one point to another, with same interpolation, same timing, same distance, and even it will be the same path. But it doesn't mean that it will be the parent object's path. In other words, when we parent any object, child object will also generate its own path according to the parent. So when we had parented while remaining on the last keyframe, the current position of the orange box was treated as final position because After Effects has found the last keyframe of the parent object, and since child object generates its own path, so according to the blue box, it has created a path for the orange one and has also created a start point for it somewhere outside of the screen depending on the distance covered by the blue box. So always parent layers by going to first keyframe of the animation. Never ever do it on the last or in between keyframes. Okay, let me undo it and parent it again. So here, as we have discussed, orange box is child and blue box is parent. And in the case of parent and child, parent is free from the child, but child has to follow the parent always. To make it clear, let me animate the rotation property of the orange box. Set a keyframe here, go to 1 second, and rotate it to some value. Now if we play it, you can see only orange box is rotating. Blue boxes still remain same. And what I told you, parent is free from the child. It need not to perform same action as of the child. So there is no change in the blue box animation. Now let's animate scale property of the blue box. Set a keyframe, go to 1 second, and scale it down to 50%. What do you see? Orange box is also scaled. And if we play it, orange box is also animating with the blue one, because child has to follow the parent always. Now let's remove these keyframes from scale and rotation properties of both layers. Let me move this orange box to the upper side. So if we play it, nothing will get changed. It's still following the parent. But if we change position of the blue box, the path will be changed something like this. And now it will also change the path of the orange box. So child can go anywhere, can do whatever it wants, but it has to follow the parent always, and it has to come to the parent when parent will call it. It's exactly same as our physical life. Okay, now let's create a circle. Take pan behind tool to adjust its anchor point First deselect it and select it again to show the anchor point. Now put it to the center of the circle holding Ctrl or Command key. We can parent more than one object to the same object. So we can parent this circle to the blue box by using this drop-down list. But when we have a number of layers, it will become very difficult to search the required layer in this list. So we have another option to do it. Here we have a coil-like icon which is called pick web. Just click on it and drag the cursor from this pick web and it will show this line. Now just release it upon the layer with which you want to parent it. So now our circle is parented with the blue box and it will also follow it. Now let me show you another example. So I have this digital animation which we have used before, but here I have removed the controller layer. So now if we want to animate all these shapes, we have to do it by animating individual shapes, which is extremely time consuming and difficult to match. So what we can do, we can just parent all these shapes to a single layer by which we can handle all these shapes. But for this, we need a blank layer. I mean, if we use a solid layer, it will create a background. If we use any shape layer, it will need a shape on it. So we need such a layer which has nothing on that, but we can still use that transformation properties. And here comes the power of null layer. Just go to Layer menu, New, and create a null object. It will create it to the center of the composition and its anchor point will be situated on the top left of the null object. And this red box is nothing, just a visual to present the null object. It will not exist in rendering. Let's call it controller. And if red box is disturbing you, you can just turn off its visibility. Since all these shape layers are 3D, so we have to make it 3D. Now select all these shapes holding down Shift key and by using this pick web of any layer, parent these to the null layer. You can see it here. Now open rotation property of the controller layer by pressing R key and we can animate all these shapes by animating just one layer. So parenting is a great feature and we widely use it while working on the motion graphic projects. In next lesson, we will learn about layer styles.